What's up, residents? Welcome back to Dangerville. Spinosaurus Aegyptiacus, one of the largest carnivores to ever walk the face of the earth, around 112 to 93 million years ago. This animal has always been a controversial dinosaur ever since its discovery, with its design being shifted since its unearthing in 1910, from being an upward-standing T-Rex with a sail to a baryonyx with a sail, and then recently interpreted as an animal that walked on its knuckles for support on land. Our understanding of this creature was unfortunately set back a couple decades, when the only fossils we had were destroyed during bombings in World War II, but thanks to advancements in research within the last few decades, we're now able to say that we have the most accurate recreation of the Spinosaurus we have today. Many of you may have remembered our video on what the Spinosaurus really looked like that we made a few years back, which was, at the time, the most accurate recreation of the animal. But considering the news, let's just take a pen and there we are. So now we're closer than ever to seeing a real Spinosaurus as it truly would have been. So stay tuned for the new face of Spinosaurus. So, the new Spinosaurus. Let's get into it. For many years, scientists and observers have been attempting to dispute the idea that the Spinosaurus was an aquatic dinosaur, since in a previous analysis, some researchers told us that based on its proportions, it wouldn't have been able to stay buoyant and swim effectively. But thanks to a recent discovery, we may have an answer to that very problem. But what was the discovery? The findings that were published on National Geographic showcase that the Spinosaurus tail was actually used as a paddling system for forward propulsion, based on a specimen first uncovered in 2008 in the Kemkem region of the Moroccan Sahara. This skeleton is the most complete Spinosaurus to date. Longer than an adult Tyrannosaurus rex at 50 feet long, this animal weighed 7 tons, had a large sail protruding from its back, sporting its now iconic elongated crocodilian-like snout filled with razor-sharp conical teeth. Due to the lack of a complete specimen, the Spinosaurus has changed designs over the years, but now thanks to developments made between 2015 and 2019, reconstructions have put forward the idea that the tail would have been used to propel the Spinosaurus forward in the water. The reconstructions show that the Spinosaurus was still a low-bearing theropod with relatively short legs in comparison to the rest of its body, and had a long narrowing tail much like its theropod cousins. Although now following the recent reconstructions, we can actually see the tail now has a fin. These delicate struts, which would reach a length of 2 feet, make up a significant portion of the vertebrae on the tail. These long bony formations would undulate back and forth, and this way would provide a much more efficient method of propulsion. This would help it become the apex predator in the rivers, as it darts forward at extreme speeds, snapping its jaw tight at unsuspecting prey. National Geographic explorer Nizar Ibrahim, the lead researcher examining the fossil, states, "This was basically a dinosaur that was trying to build a fishtail." To test the performance of the tail, a team at Harvard University made an animatronic replica of the lower part of the spine to mimic swimming movements. Compared to previous recreations of Spinosaurus, this one was much more efficient at swimming in a similar fashion to modern-day crocodiles. And thanks to the extra length and mass in the tail acting as a counterbalance, the theory that this thing needed support for the front half of its body has been debunked, as it was fully able to walk without the need of front legs. Though bear in mind, this thing wouldn't have done that much walking outside of the bay of the river. Thanks to this research, we now know the Spinosaurus was most likely not only semi-aquatic, but would spend extreme amounts of time submerged in the water and was capable of fully fledged aquatic movement in not just shallow water, but deep water. This pushes our understanding of this creature forward, and alongside the rest of the research, we're now able to confidently say that this is what the Spinosaurus really looked like. The discussion on whether this animal had feathers like penguins and other aquatic birds still goes on. Due to the fact it spends most of its time in the water, a thin coat of feathers sounds increasingly likely, as it would retain the water in the bristles to keep its body cool in the high temperatures of Cretaceous Africa. Though since we have no evidence of it as of yet, we simply cannot know. One thing's for sure, you would have not want to be found swimming in this predator's territory, because thanks to our current understanding of its adaptations to the water, it would be a quick and easy meal for this Spinosaurus. And considering this dino had a bite force of 4,200 pounds of pressure, there would be no escape. Before I go, I'd like to give a shout out to the scientists, researchers and paleontologists that slave away in the desert, pushing our understanding of these fascinating creatures forwards. Without you guys, we'd still be in the dark about how beautiful nature truly is. The extreme heat of the Moroccan desert would often make team members pass out and end up in hospital with sunstroke, with only the promise of discovery keeping them going, pushing their bodies for science and for us dinosaur fans. So thank you for your sacrifices. What do you think about this discovery? Is Spinosaurus just that much more scary knowing it's a highly evolved aquatic creature, or do you prefer the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3 as a true monster? Let us know in the comment section down below. If this video gets to 3,000 likes, I'll make another dinosaur video for you fans of everything prehistoric. Don't forget to subscribe and stomp that notification button to become a resident of our lovely town of Dangerville today. I've been Alistair, and we'll see you in the next one.